the picnic area of the Walyunga National Park. And the run which I'm going to show you on this video follows the Echidna Trail. So it's a fairly easy run in that it's not technical. So it's mostly on fire roads. There are some quite steep hilly sections, but for the most part it's runnable terrain unless it's too steep, in which case you might want to walk a couple of little bits here and there. The run does start here at Walyunga National Park. So there is really good car park, it's just over there. There's a toilet here if you want that. There's taps which I assume have potable water, but you probably want to check that before you drink it. And as always, it's a good idea to bring your own water before you come out here anyway. If you just run the Echidna Trail, that's going to be around 11 kilometers with a bit of vert in it. We'll be going up Woodsom Hill, which is kind of the highest point around here. There's a fire lookout up there as well, which I will show you. So just a couple of notes on the national park side of things. The national park itself, I don't think opens until 8 AM. Being a national park in WA, you probably also need to pay to come in here. If you have a national parks pass, and just a hint, you can get a cheap one of those from RAC if you remember. If you have a national parks pass, that would cover it. If you don't, you've probably got to pay a small fee, but this is a really well maintained area and it's definitely worth paying. The alternative, if you want to come in here before 8 AM, you could park on the other side of the gate, and there's just different ways you could cut through to the trails. Or you can do what I've done this morning, which is run here from Bells. So I've parked down at Bells Rapids. That's about 5 kilometers following the river up to this point here, and then you can commence your run and then just run back. And of course there's all the trails up around Bells Rapids, and if you're interested in Bells Rapids, please take a look at my video that I've done on Bells, where we explore some of the trails up there and try and catch the sunset from the top of Jumbuck Hill. So let's press on with this run for now. I'll show you some of the more interesting bits along here, and I hope you enjoy the video. Of these trails, they are pretty well marked. They're all just walking trails, so we're going to be following the black markers, which is the Echidna Trail, and that just kind of goes around in this loop up to Woodsom Hill and then comes back down along the river, back to the car park, about 11 k's. A few pretty solid hills in it. Just as we're coming up one of these hillier sections, I'm just hiking up. So I talk a little bit about some of this trail. It's actually part of the Pilgrim Trail, as well as being part of Echidna. So the Pilgrim Trail was put through by a monk, can't remember exactly when, but it goes from Subiaco, basically back in Perth City, all the way north up to the monastery at New Norcia. So maybe one day I'll piece together a few more sections of that trail. But Pilgrim Trail, which has like the ray of light black markers, which I'll show you, that's the trail you follow when you're running alongside the river as well. So that goes all the way to Subiaco eventually, but you can follow it pretty much to get back to Bells Rapids once we finish up this little loop. So it's at this point, the Pilgrim Trail continues on that way. Echidna Trail kind of heads back towards the east a bit more. It's quite undulating through here. The Echidna Trail, which we're following, heads a bit more to the east. This goes up Woodsom Hill. It takes us to the highest point that we'll see within Walyunga. It's a fire lookout tower up there. So we'll just walk and run up there. I don't want to smash myself up because getting some long runs in. So we'll walk and run up there, and we'll have a look at the fire tower when we get up the top. Alright, so what's behind me is the Woodsom Hill fire lookout. This is the highest point that we will see on this run. That being said, the track that we're going to follow that goes back towards the river still does have some undulations and some relatively steep sections in it. It is all fairly well formed fire road though, so national parks maintain all of these roads and tracks pretty well. So there's no particularly technical terrain between here and the Walyunga car park. Just going to catch my breath for a moment since we're at the top of this hill, and then head on back down the hill. I'll show you a little bit of that track that we'll see on the way back down. Then we're back at the river and head back towards the Walyunga car park, and we'll finish up this part of the run at the car park at Walyunga. It's a pretty nice little lookout here. It's worth a stop just quickly on the way down the hill. Check out the view, see the river, the railway line. We're going the right direction, which is good. We're not lost, we know where we are. We just continue along this trail. It undulates a little bit, predominantly downhill though, because we need to get back down the bottom of that valley where the river is, follow the river back to the car park. Alright, so kind of finish up that descent. It's brought us back down along the river, so now we just follow the river. Alrighty, so that brings us back to the car park at Walyunga. So I really hope you've enjoyed this run. I hope you can get out here and take a look at this place. It's such a well-maintained park. The trails are easy to follow. There's nothing here that's particularly technical. And realistically, you can do Echidna Trail, but there's a bunch of trails here, including just going out and back on the river, that are really suitable for pretty much any level of fitness. I've seen a couple of walkers out here. I haven't seen any other runners this morning. So look, if you've enjoyed this video, what I'd ask is you please like and subscribe. If you've got any questions, just place them in the comments and I'll come back to you as quick as I can. I've got to continue riding back down to Bells because that's where I left my car. So I'm going to get after that.